Let's give Albert the poll question for hour 2 there, Seton O'Connor.
Hour 2 poll question, Dan.
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals are tanking and hope we didn't notice, tanking and don't care if we notice, or not tanking at all and they're trying to win.
All right, let me start with that question for you, Albert.
I don't think they care that we know that they're tanking, because I think like it's actually just the right thing to do, stripping that roster down. And I mean, look, like all you have to do is look at like what they had the last few years under Cliff Kingsbury, guys like AJ Green and JJ Watt and Rodney Hudson, who, you know, were great players in their time, but were well past their prime. They were like leaning on these guys, you know? So, I mean, I understand like, you know, like the idea like, oh, they're tanking for Caleb Williams or Drake May. And there's merit to the idea of that, of course, but you know, I sort of look at this like, what else did you want them to do?
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like they had this option where they were close and it's like, yeah, let's go after it. I mean, the right thing to do here was to strip the thing down and really hit reset and start over. And I think that was like apparent. It was blatantly apparent in the way that they handled the draft. You know, I think Monty Austinfort, their GM, did a good job of moving up and down to get the guy they wanted in Paris Johnson and pick up another first round pick for next year. And now they're positioned well for the future, but it's not like anybody else would have come in there and done anything different. Like this was always going to be a total rebuild. It's just where that roster was at.
Okay, what do you do with Kyler Murray? If he's not active today, then he's not coming back to at least week 5. And his motivation would be to win games. So you're not getting Caleb Williams. And the ownership might be, you know, contrasting that they want to lose games. So something's, you know, there's going to be a head-on collision here, I would think.
Yeah, you know, it's hard because there's all kinds of injury guarantees in his contract, and the injury guarantees run through 2025. And if you look at it, like, I mean, you know, good for Kyler, because this thing gives him protection every step of the way. He's got over $35 million fully guaranteed next year. The year after that, there's almost $30 million that becomes fully guaranteed in March. So essentially the Cardinals have to make a decision on $30 million of Kyler Murray for 2025 about 7 months from now, you know? So you're talking then about like what would be Caleb Williams or Drake May's second year in the league. And you'd be carrying like that $30 million number on your books if you don't offload him by March. So I think certainly this is a critical year for Kyler Murray, and he's protected financially. But I mean, if you go down the line on this and you look at it, I mean, there's going to be a decision point that's going to come, and one way or the other, it's going to be costly for the Cardinals to keep Kyler Murray. It's going to be costly for the Cardinals to get rid of Kyler Murray. And
is he
you know, I
tradable?
think you can give Kyler and his agent a lot of credit for rattling cages like they did last year, because now he is protected 6 ways from Sunday, no matter what the Cardinals do.
Would he be tradable if he's healthy?
I don't know. I mean, it's just, they ran such a unique offense the last 3 years under Cliff Kingsbury. And look, what Drew Petzing, their offensive coordinator, is going to bring in, you know, under Jonathan Gannon is completely different. And I mean, in fairness to Kyler, my understanding is Kyler's been really engaged as far as learning it, because what Cliff had him doing the last 3 years was sort of a continuation of the offense he ran for Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, and then the offense he ran before that in high school, even when he ran for Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M all those years ago. So this has been the most significant schematic change that Kyler Murray's gone through in maybe his entire football life. And so he's engaged in that. And I do think, like, for Kyler, playing this year and showing that he can run a version of the Shanahan offense with Drew Petzing coming there from Cleveland would certainly make him more marketable as a player, and would help the Cardinals as far as like convincing somebody else to take on this contract. Now, would they have to eat some money? Probably. But I think that that's like a key part to this, because again, we've only seen him in sort of an air raid type of system, and we don't know what he would look like in a more conventional system, or what 90% of the rest of the NFL runs. So having that context is going to be important, which I think makes for Kyler, for the Cardinals, for everybody, an important, you know, getting to see what he looks like in that sort of offense when we get to October, November, December, whenever he's ready to come back.